Good morning. It's January the 9th. Still 2023. Amazing. It's a gray morning, but not too cold. Minus 10 Celsius. So about 14 Fahrenheit, thereabouts. And it's a Monday, so I'm going along the creek in some fashion. Might do something a little different. I don't know. But we'll start out. Start out by buttoning up my coat. No pretty hoarfrost today. It all came off the trees. In fact, it looked like it had snowed, but it was just the hoarfrost that had fallen off the trees. And I had a couple of really beautiful hoarfrosty days to walk last week. So supposed to be quite warm this week. And for the rest of, I don't know about the rest of the month, but for the next 2 weeks, which is as far as the forecast goes, it's single digits. Negative single digits, which is good. Normal, average high for this time of year, I think, is around minus 12. So we're already above that today. It's supposed to go to minus 2, which is not too far below freezing. So I guess I'll go down and walk along the creek as normal here. The holidays are officially over. Put our daughter on the plane back to university yesterday. Like a lot of other people, there were at least 2 other university students heading back on that plane yesterday, including one to the University of Toronto, which is where she's gone. Another one, we talking to her mom, was headed to Dalhousie in Halifax. And Alice saw somebody with a U of T backpack getting on the plane ahead of her, or going through security ahead of her, so one of her fellow University of Toronto students. So now I've got to knuckle down on all the stuff I have to do. I've been doing a lot of editing, got writing to do. Podcast should have come out yesterday, but some technical problems with this one. I'm going to have to do more editing than usual, so I'll be doing that when I get back from this walk. So later today there'll be a new podcast interview with award-winning military science fiction author and prolific short story writer Brian Trent. That should be out this afternoon. If you go to theworldshapers.com, that's the website for that one podcast. Meanwhile, I'm starting to get nibbles at Endless Sky Books, my new hybrid publishing company. Hybrid publishing is where the author invests in the book up front to cover the costs, but then gets a much higher royalty rate than you get with traditional publishers. So we'll see how that goes. I will give the same care and attention to those books as the ones I publish through Shadowpaw Press. But I might actually make some money up front to keep things going, which would be nice. It's a different model and very weird to me as a traditionally published author mostly, but I have talked to hybrid publishers and seen some very good stuff coming out of them, and I will ensure that anything that I publish is good. So that's at endless-sky-books.com if you want to check that out. Meanwhile, at Shadowpaw Press, my main publishing company, my traditional one, I've got a full slate of books lined up for the year. Not taking on anything else this year. At least not until very late in the year. And I finished copy edits for a book. I have another one that's basically ready to be published once I get a final, some final things from the author. So my next one coming out from Shadowpaw will be Backwater Mystic Blues, which is a second selection of essays by Saskatoon author Lloyd Ratzlaff. I just published, I think I will put my hat up. Actually, my ears are colder than I thought they'd be. So I'm going to put up my hood, at least to start with. Lloyd Ratzlaff, and the one I just published by him was a collection of essays called The Crow Who Tampered with Time. There's the east over there, a little bit of clear sky in that direction, but of course the weather comes from this way. I can't tell if it's really cloudy or just a bit of a thin layer of cloud, and once the sun gets higher it might shine through. I think it's only supposed to be partly cloudy today. Then on the writing side, I have a musical to write, the book, which I've barely dabbled into, but I'll get down to that. And I have my nonfiction book, which I've begun. And I need to focus more on writing this month. So it's Monday, and I'm ready to reorganize and recommit to all the projects I've got them there. Getting them done, that's the next trick. It's easy enough to pile them up. Getting them done takes the work. But I'll try to keep walking. I did skip the weekend. Saturday was a lot of errands and a lot of other stuff that needed doing, and yesterday was the last day home for my daughter, so didn't go out until we took her to the airport. Then last night I had my first rehearsal with Wascana Voices, the self-directed choir I sing with for the new semester. So some really interesting music. We just sight read through it all yesterday, and we'll start working on them properly going forward. One thing I need to get done because of that is to get our piano tuned. It's horribly out of tune because of not having it tuned all during COVID, so I can barely stand to use it, and I need it to pick out music, and I would like to play it more. I haven't really touched it much in the last couple of years. You don't really forget, but you certainly get clumsier if you don't play, and I haven't really played much for too long, so I want to get it tuned, and then I want to play the piano a little bit more. Anyway, lots of things I'd like to do. We'll see how it goes. There's the footbridge. Will I cross it today, or will I go on up this way? I think I'll go over this way. And of course we have to stop, look to the east. Sun's over there somewhere. It is up by now. It came up just before 9. And it's now 9:25 here. That way. So far nobody has said hello, or as far as I can tell. Oh, I spoke too soon. Somebody just said hello. I'm trying to see what it says though. Dave. Hi Dave. Good morning. I hope it goes well for you too. There was a close-up look at the inside of the bridge. I was just trying to get a dark background so I could read that. Okay. Couple of possibilities here. I might walk down Regina Avenue and then walk back this way. That'd be different. Kind of boring though. I'll stick to the path. Maybe I'll walk back along Regina Avenue, or at least around through that neighborhood. I haven't done that for a while. I'm going to take the path as far as Pasco Street, and then I can change the return trip from there. Once I've warmed up a bit, I'll take my hood down again, probably. I think there's snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow, so we might get a little fresh snow tomorrow. Actually, after getting a lot of snow, it's been fairly snowless. We got all that hoarfrost, which was kind of like having snow, but uh, yes, well, our mild January is making up for our bitterly cold December, so this kind of winter weather is perfect, of course. Keep it below freezing so you keep the snow and it's pretty. If it gets close to freezing, the roads will melt off a bit, so you lose some of the ice. And your cars start. You don't have any. Here's our first dog of the day. You don't have any problem with cars and so forth, so that's nice. Morning. Waterfall Park over here, but there's not much point in walking through there because there's no waterfall. I suspect there's another deep freeze coming after this warm spell. Could be wrong. You can't predict the weather. You can, but after about 3 days, it's more guesswork than anything else. Yes, it's quite silent on the bird front. I sometimes run into a bunch of them in the bushes, but don't hear a lot of birdsong. I saw squirrels chasing each other around our yard yesterday. I don't know if they were fighting or if this is mating season for squirrels. I think it's a bit early for that. They were just playing, as far as I could tell. They didn't even look like they were fighting, just kind of playing, chasing each other around the trees. Okay, I'm getting too warm. Put the hood down again. Not a lot of sounds of baseball either. What can I hear? Traffic. That's it. You kind of tune that out and you think it's a perfectly still day, but you can always hear traffic in the distance. Oh, there's a chirp. Somewhere over to my right, I heard a chirp. Over there the creek is. Which you can actually see through the path here. You can't in the spring when all the leaves are out in the summer. Oh, big dog. 2 big dogs. It's bigger than the little one we just saw. Morning. Hello.
Thank you for saying hi.
She thanked me for saying hi to the dogs, which was nice. Oh, there's a bird. It's two birds I've heard now. This is the horseshoe pitches over here. Not a lot of horseshoe pitching going on either. As I say, every time I walk by here, I've only ever seen anybody on there once in a year and a half of walking. More like coming up on 2 years of walking. In a couple of months, it'll be 2 years I've been doing this. All right, this is Elphinstone. It's a jogger. Bingo. I wonder if the path right along the creek is beaten down enough to walk along it today for a change. Take a look when we get to the bridge. Yeah, it's kind of a thin cover of clouds. It's not going to be a really great day once the sun gets higher, I think. Partly cloudy. Watch the trees go by. Walking on the bike path, watching all the trees go by. And the danger thin ice sign. Oh, bye Dave, thanks for dropping in on the walk. I just saw that, you're probably already gone, but if you're not. Let's see what the path that sometimes exists along the creek down by the trees here looks like. Have enough people plowed through it to make it worth walking on or not? I would guess not, because, well, I don't know, there's people walking over there, so they're trying anyway. See, that would be to carry on this way. Maybe. It's really hard to be sure. I think I'll stick to the path. Another look at the creek. To the east, more or less. To to the west. Oof. Yeah, they're kind of plowing through snow there. I don't want to walk that way. Stick to the mostly cleared path. Sirens are often a thing you hear in the distance. Oof. Neil Bulkwell's Civic Arts Center over there. Sirens on the Louvain, I think. Painted turtle, literally. Sirens always mean somebody's having a bad day. By the way, I mentioned Wascana Voices, the choir I sing with. If you look them up on YouTube, you can watch our Christmas concert. You'll see me singing with them. I'm the old guy. Actually, I don't look too out of place, but I am the oldest one in the group by far. But I have all my hair, and it's mostly black, so there you go. Got the dog and a jogger. Legacies of Light, that concert was called. It was very well recorded and sounds great, so if you'd like to hear what we sound like, you can also find a link, I think, in my music playlist here on my main website, my channel, get the terms right, youtube.com/Edward Willett. I think I put a link. If I didn't, I should have. This is the Walking in Regina playlist, and then there's one for writing and editing, and I try to remember to put interviews and things. And then there's one for music, which is mostly me performing, but not entirely. There's some great clips of Alan Doyle, former lead singer for Great Big Sea, performing when we were in St. John's a little over a year ago now. He was our host for the Great Canadian Kitchen Party trip that we were on. Got to know him a little bit, and he performed for us several times. He even invited us to his house, backyard party for the group, which was really nice of him. Great guy. Anyway, I sang while I was there as well. There's a picture of me singing, a video of me singing The Last Saskatchewan Pirate in what's called the Underbelly, which is this very old room underneath the Yellow Belly brew pub. So it was fun to sing for Alan Doyle in a way, and the others on the trip. And The Last Saskatchewan Pirate is a very funny song written by the Arrogant Worms, which is where we heard it and where I learned it. They There's a cover version of it by a group called Captain Tractor, and that's what they use at Saskatchewan Rough Rider games for the third quarter stretch. One year they tried to vary that and people didn't like it, so they stuck with Last Saskatchewan Pirate. But it always bugs me that it's the Captain Tractor version and not the Arrogant Worms, since it's an Arrogant Worms song. We're going to go up here, and instead of going off to the right like I normally do, we'll go to the left, maybe walk back along right in that neighborhood over there, which I haven't been for a while. This will be the turnaround point, Pasco Street Bridge up here. Right along here is the place where you can go out onto the ice if you want. I have done that. Snow looked pretty deep, so I don't think I'll do that today. But right there is a handy place to get out on the ice. Also where it floods in the spring when it melts. For sure, almost that spot. Spreads out into the park to my right a bit. I have a sore spot, my left rib cage. I fell quite a few days ago now, and it seemed to be almost healed, and then I twisted the wrong way and re-pulled it, or whatever I did to it. So I take a deep breath. It hurts a little. It's possible I cracked a rib. It doesn't feel like it hurts enough for that, but I have cracked one before, and I remember it hurting more than that. Okay, we'll go this way now. But on the other hand, that pain when I breathe does seem reminiscent of when I had a cracked rib before, so you can't do anything about a cracked rib. It just has to heal. I still don't think it hurts enough for that. So I think I pulled something or bruised something and then re-pulled it. And now it has to heal again. Okay, we don't often cross the Pasco Street Bridge, but here we are on the Pasco Street Bridge. I've walked over there sometimes, but I don't think I will today. So here's a different view of the creek, downtown, the buildings off in the distance there. I have walked along that side of the creek, but I don't know what that path is like right now either. So we'll go up here, and I don't know what you call this neighborhood, but we're going to walk in it all the same. Or at least, maybe we'll just walk along the other side of the road here. That'd be the simplest. But maybe not the most interesting. If you're going to the airport, you'd go from this direction, you go up to those lights in the distance and turn right, and you're basically there. You have to cross the Louvain and then you're there. Not in front of the terminal, but on the airport grounds. I'm sure it'd only take me 20 minutes to walk from here to the terminal. But this is Pasco Street. somebody's car plug-in cord. At least they don't have it on the sidewalk, which you're not supposed to do. Although many people do. Yeah, cars in Saskatchewan, if you're from a warmer climate, all have block heaters in them, so you can plug them in to keep the block warm on a really cold night. Keeps the battery warm too, I guess, if you happen to have your battery in the front of the car, but our old Volvo has a battery in the trunk, so it gets no benefit from the block heater, and that has caused problems sometimes. As the battery gets older or whatever, it's more likely not to start in the morning. So I have a booster pack, which gets quite a bit of use, or has, with the older cars. Usually they start right up, and one good thing about the Volvo, the old Volvo, it's very much designed for boosting, so you don't have to worry about the battery. That's the good thing. Worry about a spark blowing something up or anything. There's a little thing where you attach the positive to the little red post, and then you don't even attach the black one, the negative one, directly to that. There's a little metal hoop, quite a thick metal hoop, built right into the engine block that you attach to. And it starts like a charm. Okay, we've turned the corner and are headed home, but in a slightly different fashion than most times. We're on 18th Avenue, in case you're wondering. You probably weren't, but we are. And there's a bus. What else we got here? Which way should we go? Maybe we'll go this way. I think he was stopped waiting for me, but that really wasn't necessary. This is down toward Regina Avenue, walking this way. Princess Drive to our left. I'll follow it around. This will take us in front of Sheldon Williams Collegiate. I think. I always get a little turned around in here because the roads curve without being particularly clear if you're not paying attention. You sometimes find yourself walking in a different direction than you thought you were. I go this way, I'll get curved back around. Oh, here's Sheldon Williams. Here, I knew it was here somewhere. Okay, we'll go this way. Had my daughter gone, oh, there goes the bell. Had my daughter gone to the closest school to us, it would have been Sheldon Williams. But we sent her to a private school, Luther College High School instead. She did go here quite a bit for band. The Sheldon Williams area music program, The Swamp, is here. So elementary school students come here for band. Or at least they did. I assume they still do. It has been 8 years now since she was doing that, but I assume that's still what happens. It's an older school, obviously, built in the 50s, I think. Be my guess. Probably about as old as I am, in other words. Maybe a little older. Because I was also a product of the 50s. Barely. July 20th, 1959 is when the world was graced by my presence. And yet, it's a very well-known date, July 20th. However, it's not because I was born on that date. It's because that's when Apollo 11 landed on the moon. Which, you know, was a pretty good 10th birthday present. Even though I don't think anybody quite tied it to me at the time. Hard to believe. Well, let's see. So many choices from here. Kitty corner across here. And we'll go this way. Another look at Sheldon Williams. Well, if the gimbal will swing around, you'll get another look at Sheldon Williams. There it is. Gimbal is sticky sometimes, and I don't know why. Quite a big playing field. The Battle of Waterloo was won on the playing fields of Eton. Don't know what battles were won on the playing fields of Sheldon Williams. Oh, follow the snowplow. Follow the yellow snowplow. Follow the yellow snowplow. Follow, 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 follow the yellow snowplow. The snowplow will take you to Elphinstone. And nothing rhymes with Elphinstone. Phone, cone, roan. Lots of things rhyme with it. It's just nothing I can quite think of how to use. The snowplow will take you to Elphinstone. From there you can take a cab or phone. Doesn't really make sense, but rhymes. To Elphinstone. The yellow snowplow to Elphinstone. Do-do-do-do-do-do. We're trying to get home while walking in Regina today. Okay, well, up here is the aforementioned Elphinstone. Let's cross over. Again, there's the playing fields of Sheldon Williams. Pretty big house, newish one. Made to look a little older, but I would say it's brand new. Could be wrong. Might be a refurbished old one. Hard to be sure. when they're basically just a box. Elements of it look old, but the general plan looks newish. The big, it's big. It's possible it's two houses. Nope, it's not a duplex, I don't think. Looks like one house. Let's go this way. No point in walking along Elphinstone just yet. Come on, Gimbal. Come on, stick with me. It's not like your battery's low and it's not that cold. Not a well-cleared sidewalk along here, though. Stick to the road. Whew. Somewhat more adventurous path than I thought. It's quite rough. Again, not well cleared, but that's an alley, so there's no particular expectation. City bylaw requires you to clear your sidewalks, and as I have noted before in these walks, it's hit or miss. Oh well, people comply. I mean, I haven't managed to keep mine bare down to the concrete, but at least it's flat and only a thin layer of snow on it, beaten down. Eventually that'll melt off. Well, eventually this will all melt off, obviously. April or thereabouts. May if we're unlucky. Oh, patch of ice. This is Regina Avenue up here, so that'll take us home to the left. Or if you went to the right, again, it would take you to the airport. It's a new one next to an old one. Okay, Regina Avenue. I know. They named it after the town, so. I mean, does New York have a New York Street? Does Chicago have a Chicago Avenue? Maybe, I don't know. But Regina has a Regina Avenue. And of course, Regina means queen. We also have a Victoria Avenue, who was queen when Regina began. And there's a Queen Street. So in a way, they're all different versions of the same thing. In fact, Queen Street, down there, you can get onto it from Regina Avenue. So it's like going from Queen Avenue to Queen Street. This used to be a Christian church. I mean, as in Disciples of Christ. I don't know if anything's in there right now. There's no sign out front. What was it originally? It just says Regina Avenue Church, AD 1951. Not particularly old, but it is an attractive little structure. But I don't know if anybody's using it at the moment. And there's a strip mall over here with various things in it. Healthworks Fitness, Wellness, not fitness, chiropractor. Yarn Over Fiber and Crafting Company. There's a restaurant around the corner called Tommy's. There's a convenience store. There's a drugstore. Various other things. Teachers Club used to be in the basement. I don't know if it's still there or not. Was down there for events a few times, many years ago. So I don't know if it's still there or not. The Penn people, Laurie Artists, doesn't say anything about the Teachers Club, but it never did have a sign. It's like you had to know where it was. So we just go straight down here to the footbridge and then we're almost home again. If it was summer, I'd go down this way. There's a path, but I don't think anybody bothers to clear it in the wintertime. It would take you down to the waterfall. People have walked there, but I don't think the path has been cleared. Because that's not even the path follows. Not a terribly well cleared sidewalk here either, and it's a city sidewalk. Someone said the city has a bylaw requiring you to clear your sidewalks, but the city-owned sidewalks are not reliably cleared. Things that make you go, For anybody old enough to remember Arsenio Hall. It's how you know you're getting old. Your pop culture references get increasingly out of date. And then you're watching New Year's Rocking Eve or whatever, and you think, who is this performer? I never heard of this person. Or this one, or that one. Usually, your reaction is, why are they popular? Why are they popular enough to be on New Year's Rockin' Eve? I've never heard of them and their music sucks. That's when you know you're getting old. Or rather, the rest of the world is going to hell in a handbasket. That's typically the attitude. That's what us older people really think. I would argue that I'm quite correct in that estimate in some realms, but I won't rant about them now. Long, straight, boring bit here. But the creek, we're back along the creek, and this is, putatively at least, a walk along the creek. There's the sirens again. Or more sirens, probably not the same ones. Unless they were off at a car accident and that's the ambulance coming back. I suppose the timing might work there. But most likely, different sirens. At least they're not coming for me. That's another thing when you get older. Well, at least the ambulance didn't come for me this time. Okie dokie, back across the, what would it be in French? Le Pont de Pied, the bridge of feet. I don't know if that's a French expression or not, that'd be a literal translation. Le Pont de Pied. Sur le Pont de Pied. L'on est dansé, l'on est dansé. Actually, nobody would be dancing on this bridge, I don't think. But sur le Pont d'Avignon, they dance, according to the song. Looking west one more time. Looking east one more time. We'll go back along the dike, but just go down one staircase earlier than I came up. Looks like the deflated Santa is no longer in front of the house over there where it was. Nothing sadder than a deflated blow-up Santa. You can see the sky is clearing a bit. Should brighten up more as the day goes along. Oh, hey, fresh comment. No, we did not get snow last night. There's supposed to be some tomorrow, but nothing last night. Still some leftover hoarfrost on the sheltered bushes on the other side of the creek. Been there for days now. It's that those bushes just don't get any sun. It's be down there on the ice on that against that bank's probably the coldest place in the city. One of them anyway. Any place shaded. Further down, somebody had scraped out a skating area, but I can't see it from here. There's probably nobody skating on it right now. Being a school day and all. Carefully down the steps we go. At least they've been cleared a bit. I always watch my feet all the same. I've been in this house, it's quite cool. In a sort of 50s, cutting edge 50s style, which now makes it coolly retro. Lots of birds over there. When you do hear them, you tend to hear them in big flocks like that. Early on in the walk, somebody commented on how you don't hear birds singing, which is true, but there's a bunch of them in that tree over there. One of those trees. Or maybe they were down on the bushes on this side. Something startled them, maybe me. I think they're actually on this side somewhere. Still can't see them though. We'll go down 19th because of the way I've come this time. It's really 2 more blocks after that. I'll be home. Maybe 3. How long have I walked today? About 50 minutes, something like that, so not quite an hour when I get home. Oh. A bit sore. I'm always a bit sore. Another sign of not being as young as you used to be. Can roll over in bed and pull a muscle. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okie doke, we go this way or that way. Let's cross over. This is the side we'll want to be on. And a couple of more blocks. We call it quits. Again, I like this house with its turret nestled in among the pine trees. And the interesting shingles. smell wood smoke. Somebody's got a real fire going. Ours is gas, so no smells. Again, this is the house where years ago they shot a movie starring Linda Carter called Family Blessings, I think it's called. Keep meaning to see if I can find it just to see how Regina looks. They had this neighborhood dressed up as an American neighborhood with U.S. post office boxes and mailboxes, that's where I went. And, you know, American cop cars. Because I think it was a cop story of some sort. As well as a heartwarming Hallmark kind of thing, I guess. I really don't know. All I know is that Linda Carter was here shooting a movie. About 30 years ago now. I was living in the neighborhood then, but not in this house, but over on Garnet Street, so. Walked by it quite a few times while they were shooting. Whoever owned the house rented it out to them, so they used the interiors as well. Okay, this is the stop sign where I usually stop, so I'm going to stop. This is an Apple. It's an iPhone. What number am I up to? 13, I guess. Okay. Thanks for walking with me, and I'll be back. Bye for now.